What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 video, and I'm just checking in on you. How you doing? What's going on? Now today is January 30th, and this is going to be your weekly vendor reset and must-buys. So sit back, relax, grab that popcorn, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comments section below. But we're going to start off here in Washington, D.C., and we will finish up the video in New York City. Our first vendor of the video is going to be the Base of Ops vendor. Here we go. And starting off with the Base of Ops vendor, we have the Mechanical Animal. This is the named assault rifle with future perfection. And this week it comes with decent assault rifle damage and armor damage. I mean, this is a pretty good one to pick up. Now remember, future perfection, that is whenever you get a weapon kill, it will increase your skill tiers. Now this one will give you up to 3 skill tiers, and if you can, get past tier 6, you can actually overcharge your build with this weapon. Pretty cool. Next, we have a PP-19 with crit hit damage and Thunder Strike, followed by a F2000 with magazine size and measured. Wow, interesting. Remember, the F2000 is getting a little bit of a rework, a little bit of a buff, if you will, with this next update that is set to come out next week. So we'll see what happens with this weapon come next week. After that, we have the Police Magnum with crit hit damage and Ranger. Looking at the gear items, we have a Uzina Gattaca backpack with Adrenaline Rush, repair skills, and explosive resistance. And finally, a Sokolov Concern chest piece with weapon handling, crit hit damage, and trauma. Looking at the mods, we have crit hit damage 9.9, drone scan range 8.0, turret +1 extra sniper, and sticky bomb duration of 6.5. Now, must-buys, things to look for from the Base of Ops vendor. I would say take a look at the Mechanical Animal. That is a decent named assault rifle with damaged armor on there already. And also the F2000 with measured. I would just change the magazine size to damage to targets at a cover, and then you could try it out with measured and see if you like it, because remember, the first half of the magazine increases your rate of fire but decreases your base damage, while the other half of your magazine will do the reverse. It will slow down your weapon, but then it will increase the base damage. So, I mean, that could be an interesting weapon to try out in the next update. I'll pick it up right now. All right, so that is it for the Base of Ops vendor. Our next two vendors here are going to be the Countdown and Clan vendors. Now remember, the Countdown and Clan vendors are also in New York City, but we're going to check them out while we are here at the Base of Ops. Starting with the Countdown vendor. Hey, I'm going to skip right down to it. We have the Matador. So the Matador is the named Walker Harris backpack with perfect adrenaline rush. Now this week it comes with hazard and status effects. I would probably put this on more of a tank build. So me personally, if I wanted this one, I would pick it up and I would just recalibrate that weapon damage off for armor. And then this could be a pretty good piece for an armor build. The other two named items, we have a designated hitter. This is the named marksman rifle with perfect reformation, and it has health damage on here. And finally, the Night Watcher. This is the named Heligard mask with 100% scanner pulse haste and repair skills. I really wouldn't recommend any of these, but the Matador could be fun with a hazard status build. Maybe Ridgeway's Pride, maybe Backfire, who knows. But this could be a good little piece of that puzzle. All right. So that is it for the Countdown vendor. Let's jump over here to the Clan vendor. And again, shout out to the DoD Disciples of Doom. We are on all platforms, and we will also be on Resurgence and Heartland. All right, here we go. Clan Vendor.
Always good to see you.
Starting with the Artist Tool. This is the named rifle with headshot damage and perfect rifleman for that talent. For the gear set items, we have Heartbreaker gloves with health, Striker's holster with hazard, and Cavalier gloves with health as well. Looking at the high-end items, we have a M700 tactical with health damage and steady-handed, converted SMG9 with swap speed and breadbasket, a FAMAS with accuracy and steady-handed, and finally a tactical 308 with health damage and ranger. Looking at the gear items, we have Brazos mask with decent armor, hazard, and crit chance. Um, hmm, you could switch that one around quite a few ways. That's a pretty good mask. The Golem Gear holster with crit hit damage. The attributes are fairly low on this one, but again, you could make it pretty good. And then finally, Richter and Kaiser chest piece with hazard, weapon handling, and entrench for that talent. Looking at the mods, we have Skill Haste 10.7, Hive Reviver Armor Repair 8.6, Skill Duration 8.8, and Hive Duration of 4.4. Now, must buys, things to look for from the Clan Vendor. I would say definitely check out this Brazos de Arquebus mask. It has hazard and crit chance, but there is a few different ways you could do this. So you could keep the armor on there, just recalibrate the hazard off for, say, crit hit damage. You could go double crit. You could switch it to headshot and go crit headshot. Or you could change it around a little bit and switch that hazard off for armor regen and go armor regen crit. You know, things like that. Or you could do the opposite and recalibrate that crit chance off for, say, armor regen, go armor regen hazard. You could do things like that. Or explosive resistance hazard, go like straight tank. The options here are limitless. All right.
Thanks for the business agent.
I think that's it for the Clan Vendor. Okay. All right. Let's make our way west, and then we will double back east. Our first stop is going to be the campus settlement. Now, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up. Support the channel by subscribing and ring that notification bell. That way you don't miss a single Division video, whether it be Division 2, Division 1, or any of the future titles coming our way. And here we are, campus settlement. Starting with another designated hitter. This one with armor damage, very high headshot, and then of course that perfect reformation. You could easily just recalibrate that marksman rifle to max, and then optimize that health damage maybe once or twice, and then that'll be it. It'll be maxed out. After that, we have a paratrooper SVD with health damage and close and personal. And finally, for the weapons, a classic RPK with ignited and headshot damage. Looking at the gear items, we have a Alps mask with headshot and health. Brazos holster, nice, you could use, it's alright. With crit hit damage and weapon handling. I'm saying it's alright because you could easily just use the Picaros. So using a normal Brazos holster just isn't, I don't know. It's just not the same, man. All right, here we go. For the mods, we have Skill Haste 9.9, Chem Launcher Damage 4.1, Hive +4 Stem Charges, Pulse Effect Duration 8.7, and Trap Shock Radius of 5.7. Now, must-buys, things to look for from the campus. Let's see. I mean, the designated hitter is nice, but it's just not a viable weapon in my opinion. If you like this weapon, definitely pick it up. This is better than the other one that I previously showed you. But again, in my opinion, it's really not a weapon worth using. All right, that is it for the campus settlement. So now it's time to make our way through the Dark Zones, starting with Dark Zone West. West! Let's go. And before we get into these Dark Zones, let me just remind you that each of these Dark Zones take DZ resources as currency. So what does that mean? If you go to your inventory, toggle over to your Resources tab, and just above your keys, you will see your Dark Zone resources. For example, you can see right here I'm at 407 out of 999. So if I need more DZ resources, I have to go into the Dark Zone and either open up the little blue boxes, or I have to take contaminated gear that is in my bag, deconstruct it into DZ resources, and then extract it. So those are the only two ways to get these DZ resources. So whenever we're talking about these vendors, you have to be very careful in what you buy, because these DZ resources are not easy to come by.
Welcome, Agent.
And with that being said, here is Dark Zone West, starting with the Firm Handshake. This is the named Sokolov Concern gloves, and they come with status effects as a attribute. Now this week, this one also comes with headshot damage. Let's see. Following these gloves, we have the Spaz 12 with swap speed and sledgehammer. And finally, a military MK17 with rate of fire and optimist. Looking at the gear items, we have True Patriot gloves with decent armor and hazard, Eclipse Protocol knee pads with status effects, Wyvern wear gloves with skill haste and repair skills, and finally, Walker Harris & Co. knee pads with weapon handling and repair skills. A lot of repair skills today. Looking at the mods, we have Disrupt Resistance 8.6, Seeker Mind Skill Haste 4.9, Shield Active Regeneration 4.3, Firefly Skill Haste 5.9, and Decoy Health of 6.0. Now, must buys, things to look for from DZ West. West. I mean, the firm handshake isn't bad. This is decent. The attributes for both weapon damage and headshot are both fairly high. It just depends on how you want to use it. Also, the True Patriot gloves are nice. With that high of armor, you could pick these up and just change the hazard to whatever it is you want. It does not matter, and it'll automatically be maxed out, and then just optimize that armor to 170, which should probably only take one optimization. And I mean, the Eclipse Protocol knee pads are nice, but they're too expensive. And the Wyvern gloves, if you want those for a skill build, you would just recalibrate the repair skills off for skill damage, and then have skill damage, skill haste. That's it.
I appreciate
Cool.
your business.
Now that is it for DZ West. Let's take our talents down south to the DZ South. Let's go. All right. We haven't really had too many things stick out to me so far. I mean, nothing that I'm like, yeah, you must buy this now. Nothing's really sticking out yet. Here we go, DZ South.
Nice to see you.
Oh, yes. Hey, man, you ask and you shall receive. All right, here's the apartment. This is probably one of the most sought-after named SMGs in the game, primarily because it's a PvP exclusive item. And here are the ways you can get this. Dark Zone, Conflict, or a named item cache. Or if you're lucky, you can get the blueprint from Descent, from a reconstructed cache. But it's here, and it has damage to targets out of cover already on it. So pick this one up right now. This is a must buy. The apartment, damage to targets out of cover, near max crit chance, and perfectly measured. It's 153 DZ resources, and it's in DZ South. Pick it up, rap, meow. All right, here we go. Police, T821, max headshot, and ranger, followed by a custom P416 with damage targets out of cover and on empty, and finally a PX4 Storm Type T with health damage and spike. Looking at the gear items, we have a True Patriot backpack with armor regen, Cavalier chest piece with repair skills, Walker Harris backpack with weapon handling, repair skills, and shock and awe, and finally a China Light chest piece with unbreakable skill haste and weapon handling. Interesting. Unbreakable China Light. You could use that for a grenade build. You could use that for a grenade build. Man, I'm going to have to pick this one up.
Thanks for shopping with me, Agent.
Dang, that's expensive, but I'm going to pick that one up.
Appreciate the
All right.
business.
Again, the apartment, DZ South. Pick it up. Okay. Now, before we go to DZ East, we have to come over here to the castle, get our eardrums blown out by the loud music, and see what they're selling over here. All right, castle settlement. Boom.
Active.
Let's see if we can catch the dog. Oh, nope. Dog's not there. Oh, no. There he is. Hey, Ransom. Did the dog just, like, appear right there, or did I not see him in the shadows? Or her in the shadows, my bad. This Ransom. Ransom's a her, right? Anyways, pet the damn dog. And let's move on to the vendor. Here we go. Got to show your humanity. All right. Castle vendor, let's go. Starting with the Carnage. This is the named Negev LMG with Perfect Sadist, and it comes with crit chance. But you could easily just recalibrate that crit chance off for armor damage, and you'll be good to go. That's a good LMG, even after the nerf. SRS A1, swap speed and naked. Not bad. Following that, we have the Big Show. This is the named LMG with Perfect Thunderstrike, and it comes with health damage. For the gear items, we have Hanayu Mask with status effects and armor regen, and Wyvern Holster with status effects and armor regen. Both of them. Nice. Looking at the mods, we have Skill Duration 8.3, Chem Launcher Damage 4.1, Hive +4 Stinger Charges, Pulse Cone Size 6.2, and Trap Duration of 4.2. Now, must-buys, things to look for from the Castle Settlement. The Carnage is actually a really good weapon. Perfect Sadist. All you have to do is recalibrate that crit chance off for armor damage, and then just optimize those other attributes, and you'll be good to go. Okay. And look, now it's silent here at the castle. They just want to blow out them eardrums for 30 seconds. All right, DZ East is our next stop. And I do not go to the main entrance for this dark zone. I go to the Alpha checkpoint. Reason being is I don't want to run all the way through that courtyard. Hey, look, it didn't even make us spawn again. Nice. Because you'd have to run all the way through that courtyard instead of just exiting out this checkpoint. Here we go. DZ East.
Welcome, Agent.
Starting with another Night Watcher. We've gotten 2 Night Watchers and 2 designated hitters in today's vendor reset. All right, this Night Watcher comes with explosive resistance. I'm not a fan. Moving on, we have a surplus SVD with crit chance and first blood. A Black Market M60 with flatline and crit chance. Looking at the gear items, we have a Umbra Mask with weapon handling. Tip of the Spear holster with skill damage. Hanayu Mask with skill haste and armor regen. And Brazos de Arquebus holster with health and weapon handling. Looking at the mods, we have skill haste 10.3. Chem launcher and snare duration 7.6. Hive +4 stinger charges, pulse radius 8.7, and trap duration of 4.1. Now, must-buys, things to look for from DZ East. I really wouldn't recommend any of these. All right.
Detected.
So let's go to our last stop of Washington, D.C., just before we go to New York. And that's going to be the theater. The theater. The theater. We're going to the theater. We're going to see it live in the theater. All right, here we go. Big money, big money, big money, big money. And starting off with the Calibre. This is the named shotgun with perfect jazz hands, and it comes with crit chance, but you could just recalibrate that crit chance off for damage targets at a cover, and you are good to go. Double barrel shotgun with crit hit damage and flatline, and finally for the weapons, a SOCOM M1A with headshot and close and personal. Looking at the gear items, we have Sokolov Concern gloves with skill damage weapon handling, and China Light knee pads with health and weapon handling. Looking at the mods, Ensnare Resistance 8.2, Seeker Mine Damage 4.2, Shield Deflector Damage 4.1, Firefly Skill Haste 6.1, and Decoy Duration of 6.0. Now, must-buys, things to look for from the theater. I mean, really, none of these are sticking out except for this named shotgun. But I really wouldn't use it personally. I would go for like a damage talent. But Perfect Jazz Hands is nice with the Super 90. I mean, that's kind of just up to you. But you would have to recalibrate that crit chance off for damage to targets at a cover. All right,
Nice doing business with
that is it for DC. Let's go over to New York. And there we go, the Haven Settlement. Now we have 2 vendors remaining. We have Marco at the top of the escalator, and then we have Roy Benitez just outside. And friendly reminder, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up. Support the channel.
Safe area entered.
And I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Shout out where you're from. It's always cool to see where everyone's from. And here we go. Here's Marco.
Hey, want to make a trade?
Starting with the P90. This is the SMG with Thunderstrike this week and optimal range. Following that, we have a G28 with max marksman rifle damage, optimal range and ranger, a LVOAC with accuracy and killer, and a M1911 with close and personal and crit chance. Looking at the gear items, we have a Walker chest piece with crit chance, status effects, and Mad Bomber, Murakami gloves with repair skills and health, and finally a Seska holster with health and skill damage. Looking at the mods, Blind Deaf Resistance 8.4, Repair Skills 15.8, Shield Deflector Damage 4.1, Pulse Cone Size 6.5, and Trap Duration of 4.1. Now, must-buys, things to look for from Marco. No, nothing really. All right. Another bust. And finally, our last vendor of the video, Roy Benitez. But wait.
Sorry.
Make sure.
I didn't
What?
see you
I have to
there.
talk to the lady. Why do I have to talk to you? Why do I have to talk to you? Why did it say talk?
My bad.
Go ahead. I may not be showing it, but I am weeping tears of joy watching this loom work.
Okay. Interesting. So she's just going to sit here and that's it? All right, moving on. Pet the dog. Interact twice. The first one, you're just petting the dog, but the second one's going to be a random interaction. Pretty cool to see what we're going to get this week. I'm going to say he's going to try to roll over. Let's see. All right, here we go. Roll over. He almost did. Nice. All right. And Roy Benitez, our last vendor of the video.
Hey, agent.
Starting with the CMMG Banshee. This is the SMG, and it comes with spike and damage to targets at a cover, which is nice because that allows you to change that talent off for whatever it is you want. So that's pretty cool. Nice SMG. Following that, we have a classic M44 carbine with crit hit damage and lucky shot, a SOCOM M1A with damage to armor and Thunderstrike, and finally a X45 tactical with max rate of fire and vindictive. Looking at the gear items, we have Overlord chest piece with crit chance, weapon handling, and Overwatch, Empress gloves with skill haste and status effects, and finally a Wyvern holster with crit chance and skill haste. Looking at the mods, we have crit chance 4.5, pulse resistance 8.6, turret duration 5.9, damage 6.0, and then duration again. I'm not a fan of any of those. Okay. So for Roy Benitez, must-buys, things to look for. The Banshee with damage targets at a cover is a good one because you can switch the spike off for whatever talent you want. The Empress gloves are actually really good for skill builds. You could do two things here. You could switch off the status effects for skill damage and go skill damage, skill haste, or you could recalibrate the skill haste off for skill damage and go skill damage status effects. But either way, great pair of gloves for a skill build. And then same thing kind of applies here for the Wyvern. So just recalibrate the crit chance off for skill damage, and then you could go skill damage, skill haste, and that's great for a skill build. All right, that is it for Roy Benitez. Out of everything today, whoa, that drone almost hit me in the head. Out of everything today, I would only really recommend the apartment. It's kind of crazy. I mean, there were some goodies, but really just the apartment. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Shout out where you're from. I hope you have a great day. Take care of yourself. I am Kamikazevondoom, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.